What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another player review. This one is going to be on CJ Elleby. If you've missed any of the previous player reviews, there is a playlist link at the top of the description box below. Also, go subscribe to our second channel, link in the description box below. Also, if you look below this video and there's a subscribe button and it's red, that means you should click it. Anyway, let's get into things here. This is going to be a tough player review for me because I don't take enjoyment out of being critical of a guy like CJ Elleby, but I call it like it is, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything when it comes to his season. It's obviously nothing personal. He seems like he's a good guy, but he did not have a good season. I'm not even going to include clips from my player preview for him before the season because basically I just want him to knock down threes. He showed flashes of being able to do other things, and he does little things, so he just needs to be able to knock down threes. That was my whole point before the season, and that's been my whole point throughout the season. And with that being said, let's take a look at his stats. For the season, he did not shoot 35% from three. He shot 39% from two, so, you know, achieved that goal if it was a 2-point goal, but in terms of 3-point shots, he shot 29%. Not good whatsoever. And his numbers were even worse when he started games. He averaged more points per game and rebounds per game, but he played 9 more minutes per game. His efficiency actually went down, 37% from 2, 27% from 3 compared to his overall numbers. So he had an ample opportunity this season to build some sort of rhythm, to find some sort of consistency, and he absolutely failed. Let's look at the positives, though. The one positive that I can definitely say about him is he played hard, and I gotta give him his props for that. The Blazers had issues with players not playing hard at the start of the season, so for a guy like CJ Elleby, who seemingly leaves it all out on the court every single night, I have to give him credit for how hard he plays. Sometimes he might play a little bit reckless because he plays so hard, the hair flopping around and everything, but the dude plays hard, and I respect him for it. The second positive from the season for CJ Elleby is he was actually a good rebounder. This is the one area where he statistically grades out as a positive. Per 36, he averaged 7 rebounds per game, and part of that is just how hard he plays. He crashes the boards hard, he goes in there and he battles with big men for rebounds, and he comes away with quite a lot of them. He had some good moments where he got some impressive offensive rebounds and putbacks this season. His rebounding was definitely a positive for him. The third positive I have is playmaking flashes, making plays for others. There was times where he had some impressive passes, and his court vision actually isn't bad. He sees the floor pretty well, he makes the right pass. Sometimes he'll get tunnel vision, but for a guy like him, I've been impressed with some of the passes that he's made for other players. I just think it's a situation where he struggles to handle the ball in pick and rolls, and he struggles to get to spots where he can make plays for others. But he averaged over 2 assists per game as a starter. It definitely isn't a consistent aspect of his game, but there were times where he has some impressive plays for his teammates. And the fourth positive I have of his is he cuts well. He makes the right cut. Part of that is maybe he struggles shooting from 3 and he knows that, so he'd rather go and get a layup, so he cuts where other guys might spot up. Pretty consistently, he'll make the right cut and he'll get layups out of that. That is the most efficient play type for him as a scorer, is just cutting off the ball, getting a pass, and then maybe shooting a little turn hook shot or getting a layup. As far as improvement areas, I call them improvement areas because it's more of a positive term, but negatives fits in the graphic and improvement areas does not. So a negative of his, obviously, you know what's coming, it's his shooting. The dude has to figure out how to shoot threes, and he has not been able to figure out how to shoot threes. He was a good 3-point shooter early in his college career, had a down season his senior year, and then has come to the NBA and has just been a walking brick. I'm sorry, but that's what he's been. He hasn't been able to knock down threes, and I think he needs to completely rebuild his shot because I don't think the way he shoots is easily repeatable enough for him to be able to consistently knock down threes at the NBA level. There's far too much lateral movement from where he starts his shot to his set point. He starts his shot completely on the other side of his body, brings it across his face, and then shoots it. It's really hard when you have that much lateral movement to be able to shoot the ball the same time every time, and that's That's what the good shooters do. There's players with weird forms, but they're good shooters because they are able to replicate that form. CJ Elleby shoots the ball differently almost every time he shoots the ball, and that's why he doesn't have a good three-point percentage. He doesn't shoot the same way every single time. So he needs to completely rebuild his shot, find some sort of form that is more repeatable. Lonzo Ball did that early in his career, and his shot was absolutely broken, but his broken shot was better than Elleby's shot is now. But if Lonzo Ball can rehaul his form, maybe CJ Elleby can. If he can do that, maybe he can become a solid three-point shooter, and maybe he can stay in the NBA because of it. But that needs to be the one thing that he does this offseason, is completely rebuild his shot. The second negative / improvement area for him is he struggles to get to the rim, and part of this is just he's not the most athletic player. He's not the quickest. He doesn't have the best first step. And then part of it is the next negative that I'll get into, which is his ball handling. These two things combined don't make him a dynamic offensive player. You couple these things with the struggles to shoot the ball, and he's a major negative on that side of the floor. When he gets to the rim, he can finish okay. It's just rarely off of drives. He shoots 31% of his shots from 0 to 3 feet, but a lot of those come off of offensive rebounds and putbacks or cuts or in transition. When he drives, a lot of times he doesn't get all the way to the rim and ends up shooting some sort of shot where he's fading away from the rim, or some sort of like running baby hook shot, or he stops and then turns around and shoots a little fading hook or something like that. And from 3 to 10 feet, where he takes 17% of his shots, he is absolutely abysmal. He shoots 23% from that range. 23%. That's the equivalent of shooting 15% from 3. He is terrible from 3 to 10 feet, and he takes quite a bit of shots from there. He needs to figure out how to get to the rim a little bit more consistently when he drives. That'll help draw extra help defenders, make him better as a playmaker. He'll probably be a more efficient player, and being a better shooter might help him get to the rim more. If guys have to play him more closely on the perimeter, it makes them a little bit easier to drive past. If guys have to run him off the three-point line, then they're easier to drive past. So these first 3 negatives kind of all go hand in hand. He definitely needs to improve his ball handling. He needs to get tighter with his dribble. He needs to figure that out. He's a little too tall with the ball, doesn't really get in a stance at all. He has a long way to go offensively, and it starts with his shot, but he could definitely figure out ways to maybe get to the rim a little bit more and be a better ball handler, so he can run some more pick and rolls and make better use of his passing. The fourth improvement area is his defensive consistency. I think some Blazer fans overrate him as a defender. I think when you see a guy out there playing really hard on defense, they just automatically look good, but there was numerous times where he would be playing hard and he'd still get blown by. He doesn't have the quickest lateral foot speed, in my opinion. And then off the ball, he was definitely inconsistent. He would get back cut at times, and that was the case for pretty much everybody on this team. But when you're CJ Elleby and you don't have anything working for you offensively, you need to be a consistently positive defender, and I can't say that about him this season. As far as the future for CJ Elleby, he is a restricted free agent this offseason. He has a qualifying offer of $2 million. If Portland extends that qualifying offer, then they can match any contract that he gets. But I don't think it's likely that Portland gives him the qualifying offer. I think it's a situation in which Elleby is probably going to be an unrestricted free agent, and I don't think he's going to be back with the team. Now, if he does end up re-signing with the Blazers, maybe it's for that qualifying offer, maybe it's a 1-year minimum, I don't know. But if he does resign with the Blazers, I wouldn't rule out him playing in Summer League, but I don't want him to play in Summer League because it would be taking time away from younger players with more upside, and Portland should hopefully have a lot of those on the Summer League team. You're looking at Brandon Williams, Keon Johnson, Trent Wofford, Greg Brown, whoever Portland uses with their pick. Hopefully Portland gets this Pelicans pick. That game is later tonight, so hopefully that's another rookie there. Fingers crossed. I'm extremely nervous for that. But you got a lot of talent that should be playing on this Summer League team. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. I don't know who. I don't really want CJ Elleby to take away minutes from those guys. I think the future for CJ Elleby is a spot in the G League or a spot overseas where hopefully he can find and refine his offensive game, because he is so far away from being an NBA player on that end of the court, and he'd have to be a lockdown defender defensively to stick in the league, and I don't ever see him being that. I can't justify him being in the NBA at this point. I think it would be best for him to go to a lower level of basketball, rebuild his shot, find some sort of consistency and rhythm with that shot, and then maybe he can come back to the NBA as a better shooter, and he can be a 3-and-D guy that can maybe pass for someone, make a play for somebody else. As far as CJ Elleby's grade for this season, I gotta give it a D-. I could have given it an F, to be honest, but I wanted to be a little bit nicer, so I'll give him a D-. It's still a passing grade, I guess, if you're in school, but yeah, no, D- for CJ Elleby. Anyway, that wraps up this player review. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about CJ Elleby down in the comment section below. Do you want him back on the team next year? Let me know what you think. Anyway, that wraps this up. Should have a mock draft tomorrow once the Blazers know if they keep this Pelicans pick for now or not. So stay tuned for that. That should be a lot of fun. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.